hey, if you've clicked on this link, which the thumbnail probably was something about how to become a better software engineer, or how to grow kind of as a software engineer and become kind of more noticed. So a little bit of background about myself. I'm currently a full stack engineer. I've been working for 3 years. In my first year, I worked at a big health tech company who, if you've ever went to an ER or hospital or a doctor in the US, you've most likely had your information entered into that company's system. So I was working at this company as a software engineer, and within 9 months, I made it to senior software engineer on the team as a full-time employee. So from there, I worked, I joined kind of TripleByte, which is a recruiting platform. I was able to find new jobs, right, a year and a half later, in the Bay Area, where I started working as a mobile app developer, and I was able to double my income. And then I was able to, from there, join another company where I was able to increase my income even further, not double, but I was able to increase my income even further and work as a full stack software engineer. And right now I'm getting to solve some of the coolest problems. I'm able to have massive impact in my role. And I've even had my manager come up to me and say, hey man, you're kind of this team superstar. And I don't mean this to kind of brag, right? And that's kind of not my goal about all of this, but to kind of bring credibility into the advice that I'm trying to give you, right? My manager is someone who's actually fairly big. He's worked at Uber, Facebook, worked a lot of big companies, and have him come say that to me was really, really highly like encouraging, highly rewarding, and made me very happy, because this is someone who's had experience, who's seen my impact on the team and kind of what I've been doing for the company, and is saying that I'm a superstar, right? And this makes me happy because it validates my experience and it validates me as an engineer, takes away kind of the imposter syndrome that I felt for a while back, right? It encouraged me to kind of even take a step further. I'll create this YouTube channel and kind of want to share my experience with you so that I can help other engineers kind of feel in the same way that I do, and be able to kind of increase their income in the same way that I did, and kind of enjoy life the same way that I do. Even though the pandemic has struck, a lot of us are home, we can still grow as engineers. As a matter of fact, I feel like it's a great time for us to grow as software engineers, because we're stuck home, right? We have no other choice than to stay home. Maybe you can go for a walk or something, but you're kind of home all day. So use this time wisely, you know, grow your skill set. But yeah, so a little bit about myself, and that was kind of a brief overview, and thank you for sticking so far with the video. So now into the actual meat of this video. How do you become better as a software engineer? How do you get management to notice you? So first things first advice I can give you as a software engineer if you're joining a company, number one. So always ask questions in meetings. Always speak up. Don't be that quiet software engineer in the room, right? In the video room at the moment, but don't ever be that quiet software engineer in the room. Always have a question. Even if it's stupid, ask those stupid questions. One, they make you stand out as an engineer, right? Two, if you're confused on something, when you ask and you get elaboration and you feel like you finally understand it, chances are someone else in the room feels just as confused. And you've maybe not only just cleared it up for yourself, you cleared it up for everyone else. And people actually start to remember this. The more you start asking questions, they'll be like, wow, you're the guy that asks these questions. And over time, your questions no longer become stupid and actually can become useful and better. And because you get better at asking these questions. For example, I might ask, I asked a question one time and my manager was like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good question. And it was fairly simple. I was like, so we're going to do this. Why not do this, right? It was a very straightforward question, very stupid. Maybe the answer was straightforward, not to me. And when I asked it, and my manager was like, oh, good question. And I thought, you know, it was awesome. And so I realized that this is a really good way to grow as a software engineer, when you start asking and getting involved in these conversations, and don't be quiet in these meetings. Advice number two, ask for help. As a software engineer, some people will teach you conflicting advice, or like, don't ask for help, ask for help. If you're stuck on a problem for more than an hour to two, can't get a Stack Overflow answer, can't find your answer on Google, ask for help, dude. Don't sit there and try to solve this problem, like brain solve this problem. Go ask someone, save some time. Maybe someone can help you solve it in 5-10 minutes. You're done with that problem, and then you keep moving, you learn it for the next time, and then you get to solve it, right? Just ask for help. That's advice number two. Advice number three, side projects. So to me personally, I feel like side projects have been the most important thing in my career. I've learned how to build React Native mobile apps through it, professional production quality mobile apps using my side projects. I'm able to set up databases and Docker containers. I'm able to design systems. I'm able to build applications fairly quickly. I'm able to like have a huge breadth of knowledge and experience. The same way someone with a huge number of years in professional experience. But the advantage that I have is I have done a lot of this in side projects, right? And I'm able to cram that level of experience in a much shorter amount of time. And it's not saying that I'm still putting a huge number of hours into programming, right? It's not like I'm putting a huge number. So, but I'm just able to put that huge number quicker, solve a wider variety of problems, and then start picking solutions from certain problems that I've solved into other problems I'm solving. And that helps me also grow. And also, number 4, don't get stuck in your ways, right? Learn new languages. If you feel like, I felt for a while that I started getting reliant on Python and I actually didn't know React, wasn't very good at JavaScript. I was like, yeah, I'm a Python engineer first, I love Python, I love C, that's it. I learned JavaScript. I pushed myself to learn JavaScript. And then after that, a year ago, I learned TypeScript. All by myself, no courses, nothing, just hands-on projects. Built a TypeScript app, learned how to type the hard way, make that thing run. And now I'm pretty decent at TypeScript. I can build any mobile app I want to, type it properly. And I've learned a lot of stuff. GraphQL, just jumped right hands-on into it. Didn't know anything about GraphQL. Now I've built tons of side projects in GraphQL. It's made my development experience so much better, and I preach it. Learn new technologies, right? As a software engineer, you go with the technologies that you know, but you got to remember, we as developers develop so much. There's a huge evolution, right? There's so much technology out there that can make our lives easier. Don't go for the technology that you know just because you know it. Find out if there's actual technologies out there that are better suited to solve the problem you're looking at. For example, if you're trying to build a very simple, basic application and you're sitting there and you're not expecting, like you're in the early days of your application, right? And you go ahead and choose Go or choose Rust or choose something else, like within those natures of languages, you're going to struggle. You're going to take too much time, especially if you don't have that much experience working in those frameworks. And sure, you're going to get amazing server performance, but there are alternatives, right? There's Django, there's Python, there's Hasura, which, by the way, is my favorite technology that I've discovered in 2020. It's an auto GraphQL layer for you that gets generated off of your database schema, and it does full CRUD operations. I can't emphasize how cool that is, right? That, to me, is so cool, and like will save you so much time trying to reinvent and resolve the same wheels. So I'll no longer use the same technologies that I know and look for new technologies that are better suited to solve the problem at hand. This is advice number 4 into getting as a better engineer. Advice number 5 that I can give you is talk to people and go to meetups. By meetups, I mean just actually go and listen, right? Or watch meetup videos. The amount of knowledge that people have is just as valuable as your Medium courses or your online courses, your school courses. People have a wide breadth of knowledge. I went to a React Native meetup. It was for the team that was actually talking was the Coinbase Pro team. One of the advantages of living in the Bay Area. I can talk about that later if you want. It's obviously pre-pandemic, but they went into like some of the core architectural designs in React, like the Coinbase Pro app, how they're able to optimize performance, how they're able to keep 60 frames per second, smooth animation, and all of that. And I was able to take that knowledge, and I was currently working on a React Native mobile app, and I was able to take that knowledge, bring it into the mobile app, and be able to increase that frames per second close to average of 60. I wasn't able to get it to 60 exactly, but I was able to get close there. And this is, by the way, by myself. So it was really awesome. I got to learn that from just going to a meetup and just talking to some of the engineers there. And then people. So there was a software engineer I used to work with on my first job. This guy, I used to enjoy, in lunch, I'd go look out for this guy and just gotta sit down with him, just talk to him, right? He's a senior art engineer with 15 years of experience. That guy, me and him, some things I maybe disagreed with him, and that's okay, by the way. Learn to disagree with people and not take it personally is another really great piece of advice I can give you. If someone does not share the same opinion, that's okay. No need to ever take it personally. It's just work in the end. But anyways, even though that you might disagree with someone on something, they still are knowledgeable, right? Especially if they're a software engineer, especially if they have that many more years of experience than you. Number 6, I think maybe at this point. Yeah, number 6. So be friendly with your team. right? Work with your team. You are all a team. And if especially in the same company, treat everyone with respect. Help everyone that comes your way. Don't leave people waiting for a response for a long time. And remember, everyone in your company is part of the same team. Even though you're part of a team in a company, everyone in the same company is part of the same team. Everyone wants the same thing, the company to succeed. So remember that and work with everybody that way. These like advice that I've given you so far, I feel like have helped me as a software engineer grow in ways that I can't describe. So if you feel like this advice was helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of these videos that I come up with. This is my first video. My name's Sammy. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate if you've watched this far. Yeah, this was like 10 minutes. Wow. I enjoyed this. I might create more videos. Yeah, and if there's anything that you want to talk about or ask, or topics you'd like me to discuss, kind of a topic that I was thinking about is income. Other topics I want to talk about is investment, like how I invest my money as a software engineer. What are some investments that I've done? Some failed investment ideas, some things that I've done that have succeeded, things that I tried before. So yeah, all of these things are things that I'd like to talk about in the future. So if you'd like any of those as well, leave a comment below to help me come up with my next topic. Thank you so much for watching this far. All right, see you guys.